Hi guys, and a very warm welcome onto this video series on Future Audio Workshops Sublab. My name is Larry Holcomb, aka Get to Know, and I'm going to be delivering this video series on this amazing plugin. So this could be your go-to plugin for amazing sounding 808s that cut through in loads of different listening environments. You can also use it to create kick drums as well, and generally to have really hands-on control over your low end. Now in this first video, we're going to talk about the interface of the plugin and also the presets. So let's dive right in. Okay, so let's start off with the interface. So the top of the window here is where we have our presets, which we're going to go through in a minute. We also have a kind of action menu in here with various different kind of preference settings in there. We can save a patch from here. We can initialize a patch so we get just an empty kind of clean slate. And we also have this sample option here, which lets us kind of resample something we've created in Sublab so we can load it back in. We're going to go through that later on. Okay, so moving down, this is our kind of sound generation area of Sublab. So we've got three different ways that we can generate sound. We've got a kind of traditional synth option here. We have a sampler option where we can actually drag and drop our own samples or use the sounds that come with Sublab. So this is where we can kind of layer a synthesizer and a sampler together. Then we have this X sub option, which is the way that we can basically drive extra harmonics in to make sure that our sub basses or kick drums or 808s will cut through in different listening environments. Okay, then heading down here, we have a filter here. So we have low pass, band pass and high pass filters here and things like cutoff and resonance. And then we have a mixer here, which is where we can mix and blend between our three sound sources, the synth in green here, sampler in orange, and then the X sub in this pink color here. Next up, we have a distortion unit here, which is again something we can use to drive in extra harmonics to make sure the sound cuts through. And then we have a compressor where we can actually kind of tame things, hold them in place a little bit. And we also have a sidechain option where we can actually sidechain the synth portion to the sampler if we want to create kind of a kick and a bass sidechain relationship. And then finally, we have the master section up here, which is where we have a frequency spectrum analyzer. And you can see where our three different layers are kind of cutting through and overlapping. Let's just load something in here. So you can see here, for example, in orange we have the sample, we have the synth in green, and then the X sub in this kind of purple color here. So you can see where everything's hitting, and if you have a problem with too much frequency crossover and phase cancellation between the three elements, then this will probably show up in the analyzer. Then we have a final volume control with a limiter built in as well. Now we're going to go through these in much more detail as the video series progresses, so don't worry. Okay, so let's have a look at the presets. Now the presets can be accessed by this little menu here. So we can click on it and we get a series of different kind of filters that we can use to really hone in on what we're looking for. So if we wanted something from the analog machines pack, it wants to be crushed, and I think this is a sound designer who's created these ones. So then we could select from here. Just give ourselves a bit of headroom. So you get a kind of idea of exactly what you can create using this plugin. We have the option to get more packs here. You can see more Sublab packs, and we can click on here and add more sounds to our plugin if we want to. We can also favorite sounds here. So by clicking on this little star, and obviously whenever we want to access those, all we need to do is click on the little star icon. Let's just get rid of these three. And you can see now anything which has been favorited will show up in this list. We can load sounds from the hard drive using this little option here. And we can also add in a new pack name by clicking on this little plus button here. So dead simple with the presets, really easy to use. And whenever we want to come off here, all we need to do is click again on the preset name and that menu will close down. Okay, now to save a preset, we can do that from the save menu here. And we can choose to add a name in here and also specify the pack that we want it to be saved to. And as I said before, we can set up a new kind of initialized patch by using the new button, which is very handy. Okay, so that is the interface and the presets. So to recap in this video, we talked about the interface. We know that our presets are located up here. We know we have an action menu here where we have some kind of additional preferences. We can save a patch by clicking save here. We can initialize a patch by clicking new. We can resample the plugin by clicking on sample. We're going to come back to that. This is our sound generation section. So we have a synth, a sampler, and then an X sub for generating extra harmonics to help the sound cut through. Filter down here. different filter types, a mixer, allowing us to blend between our 3 different sound sources. We then have a distortion, allowing us to drive in extra harmonics, a compressor, which means we can kind of tame the sound, hold it under control. And then also a master section with a spectrum analyzer, showing us our 3 different layers so we can see how they're crossing over with each other. And then a final output section here with a limiter built in. Okay, so now we've covered the interface and the presets. Let's have a look at the sound section, starting off with the synth parameters. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.